What's happening, guys? This is Mike's Total Dragon Channel. I've been really behind on my comics lately, so today I'm going to talk about two that I've really enjoyed. I finally got a chance to catch up on my reading last night, so they might not be from, I don't think they're from this week. I think they're last week's books, but however, out of all the books I read from last week and this week, these two really stood out to me. Up first is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 7. Now, this book here, it does not find our heroes in a half shell. It does not find them in a very good place. They finally, you would think with in the last issue or so, when the brothers finally got reunited, you would think that would be in any other movie, that would be a third act type thing that brings our heroes to victory. But in what Jason Aaron is doing here is them coming together has really only made things worse. This finds them back in New York and fighting the Foot, the police department, the firefighter department. So they have basically been framed, and the city of New York has turned against them. So they are on the run, and they have had to go all the way from New York to New Jersey, which is where they're held up. And like I said, they are not in a good place with each other. Tempers are high. Donatello continues to have gone off the deep end. He's got a dead mouse on his shoulder that he keeps referring to as Splinter. He says he went and found some pizza for everybody, but as you can see by Leonardo's reaction right here, it just looks like he's eating, shit he found in the trash can. Like right here, he goes, I know this is, what is this, blue cheese? So he doesn't even know what stuff he's eating is just, moldy stuff he found in the trash. And as you can see from all this stuff, all the brothers are angry with each other. But Donatello, he keeps insisting that he can hear Splinter's voice coming from this corpse of this rat. And so he's the only one, although he's, kind of coming off as insane, he's the only one that's believing we can patch things up. Our family can patch things up and be one again. Now, as we've seen, this guy right here, he is the one that's in cahoots with the Foot, and he is the one that has made the Turtles public enemy number 1. So he is, for lack of a better term, DA Hale, District Attorney Hale. He is like the new Shredder. He's the Turtles' big bad. And so we see the brothers individually have went out thinking they can, kind of lone wolf it and save the day. We see Raphael checking out on Casey, who's in the hospital. April, the Foot shows up for April due to her affiliation with the Turtles. And for some strange reason, all these Foot soldiers are attacked by an army of mice, rats, whatever you want to call it. But like this double page shows the brothers getting their ass kicked in each of the situations they're in. And Donatello is the one who's doing the narration. And he says right here, each convinced they can be the saving Ronin of this story. But in a city inflamed to despise us, they fight for all the wrong reasons. So the days of them just being able to show up and lone wolf it and save the day, it's not working. The Turtles, they managed to retreat, get back to New Jersey. Michelangelo gives a living rat to Donatello and says, "Hey, this is Splinter right here." And Donatello says, "I don't know what you're talking about. This dead rat on my shoulder right here, that's Splinter. That's what you got. It's just a dead rat. It's just a live sewer rat." And Donatello tells the brothers, "Splinter might not be here in body anymore with us, but he's been with you guys in spirit through all of your challenging situations." So here's Splinter when Raphael was locked up. Michelangelo was a TV show when Leonardo was meditating on the beach. So Donatello knows that Splinter is still there watching them, no matter how crazy his brothers think. And then this issue ends with Donatello fighting some of the foot agents and saving one individual store owner. And as he tells the spirit of Splinter, that's one down, only 8,097,281 more to go. So that is the end of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 7. Jason Aaron has painted our heroes into a really bad spot. You know, they are fractured as a family. The whole city of New York has turned against them. They're on the run. They have zero resources. So he's really putting them through the paces right here. I thought this was a really strong read. Very often you don't see the Turtles in this type of situation, one in which, you know, basically all hope is lost. And you kind of would have thought that with them reuniting, that they would be able to put things together and win in the end, but that just doesn't seem to be the case for right now. So, and I'll tell you about the other issue that I read that I super enjoyed. It's Fantastic Four number 29. Now, this issue is a tie-in to the big storyline that they're doing currently in Marvel, One World Under Doom. This takes place after it. And so what we see here is, if you've read One World Under Doom, or if you read Blood Hunt, is Dr. Doom has assumed the mantle of the Sorcerer Supreme of this realm, and he has declared himself Emperor of the world. And what we get to see here is kind of a, you know, I want to call it, what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of like a, you know, like a slow down reflective issue, you know. So you've got Sue and Ben. They are basically the focus point of this issue, them taking care of the house. They've got Franklin and Valerie, and then Ben's got his 2 kids here. They're getting them out the door. And then they've got their neighbors out here across the street. They're waving goodbyes. Their kids get on the bus. And one of the things that Sue talks about is Doom having taken over the world. It's kind of really starting to seem like it's the new normal. So that is what the kind of overwhelming theme of this issue is Ben and Sue and She-Hulk meeting together and talking about how Doom has taken over. And it's not really like an issue that's, hey, we've got to strategize. Hey, we need to come up with a game plan. Let's plan an attack. It's more of everyone sitting back and kind of, I don't want to say casually, but I guess maybe that is the right term, is casually discussing Doom's ascension to power. And like She-Hulk mentions here, somehow Doom's convinced every world leader to give him all the leeway he wants. So, and that's kind of been like the how all the countries have given Doom all this power. And within the backdrop of all that, the previous event was called Blood Hunt, in which vampires were granted the ability to walk amongst the daylight. So now you have the vampires have been singled out and portrayed as a big evil force from Doctor Doom. And this lady here, this at the coffee shop, is telling them, she says, but I have to admit, as much as I can't stand Doom, at least he's doing something about those hard vampires. So she hates Doom just as much as this next guy, as long as the next guy isn't a vampire. And she says they're monsters. But anyway, you guys have a good day now. And Ben talks about that, what Doom's strategy is here. He says, heck, Doom using vampires as a scapegoat. Sure, anyone can see he's just building up a boogeyman for everyone to hate. So if you're hating the vampires and everything that they've done during the attack, then you don't have time to hate Doom. And if you don't have time to hate Doom, you don't have time to put up any sort of resistance. So we come across this family here, mom, dad, and 2 children, being chased by angry townsfolk. All they're missing is their feathers and their tar and pitchforks. And they're mad at these vampires here because they say, this guy, he just ate a pigeon. And the lady's like, look, we just needed food. We needed it, We haven't ate, and if we don't eat, we turn really rabid and crazy or whatever. So and the mob is just like, why are you guys protecting the monsters or whatever? This lady calls Sue a fucking hypocrite. Her husband is on our side. Mr. Fantastic killed plenty of their kind right here on these streets. And then She-Hulk tries to argue it down. She goes, we live under a legal regime that's famously long distinguished between self-defense and mob murder, which is what these people have done. They've went and formed an angry mob. And so the Fantastic Four and She-Hulk have decided they want to go ahead and protect these people here who are innocent vampires, which is what the state of vampires is right now in the Marvel Universe, until this nut job just shows up out of nowhere and dusts the mom and dad in front of their 2 kids. So things have kind of got out of control right here on the street. As you see, only Doom can save us. Only Doom can save you. So, like I said, one of the things Ryan North is showing is that that humanity is more against the vampires than they more are against Doom. No matter how many evil things Doom has done as the number 1 big bad in the universe, the fact that vampires just took over New York is a lot more fresh in people's mind and is a lot more personal attack than anything that Doom has done on them. So the family gets back to their house, and Mr. Fantastic is approached by the little girl and says, can you cure us? And as you can see in Reed's face, that is really tearing him up. He is very distraught that he is in the presence of a child that feels that way, let alone a child that had just recently become orphaned. So he gets approached to cure the brother and sister, in which they finally come up with something. Basically, it's like a power bar, that they eat, and it'll take care of your bloodlust. So they have a treatment like they're talking about right here. They feel like they had a real big victory. We have a treatment. Vampires no longer have to feed on living things. They will go mad with hunger. And then Sue thinks Doom's had success with blaming vampires because he could weaponize the fact that they had to feed on living blood. They don't have to do that anymore. A pillar of pro-doom propaganda just collapsed. So everybody's feeling really good about themselves, about the move they made in being able to cure the vampire's hunger. And like you see, Ben here says, give it some time. This pro-doom propaganda is going to fall, and people will be ready to take the fight to him again. So all in all, everybody's feeling really good about themselves. We get to the next morning. It's time for everybody to head out to school. And then as you see by this panel here at the bottom, a look of shock on everyone's face. The neighbors across the street. So you're the neighbors across the street from the Fantastic Four, and you have this much doom signage and banners in your front yard. That is just got to be a kick in the teeth for the Richards, who live across the street, who have spent basically their entire superpower career fighting doom. And they see it's the people that they thought that they knew and they thought that was their friends, and they had a good neighborly relationship, and they are now supporters of this man. So all in all, I thought this issue here was incredibly powerful issue. Definitely deals with a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for here? A lot of, I'm trying to think of a good word. It deals with a group of people who have been painted, like the vampires have been painted as the big bad, just to take, and this isn't a word, this is a whole bunch of words, just to take all the, what Doom has basically done is he has used the vampires as a bulletproof vest for him. People are so focused on being angry at the vampires that they're ignoring or don't care about what Doom is doing, and the fact that he is now running basically the entire planet because he has given them, people in their individual square spaces, safety and a sense of protection. And that's kind of what the overall thought and premise of this issue is. I thought it was really incredibly powerful, well done. In this age that we live in real life, of people, groups of people being made out to be the worst type of people of society, so people can step up on their backs to get power. I felt like what Ryan North did here with this issue of Fantastic Four was really able to address that, and kind of talk about it through the veins of, or through this this comic book. It kind of felt like something that you would see maybe like an episode of Star Trek, the original series, or maybe like a Twilight Zone episode, something like that, where the big twist is the reflection is us, oh my God, they're us, that type of deal. So I think he really nailed that, and this is just this Fantastic Four is just another really great issue in his run. So I'm going to say that these two issues here are two of my favorites that I have read on my way to catching up on books for the past couple of weeks. So that is the end of this review of these two books. So I've really started to make some progress. I've really started to get caught up. So I've got a lot more stuff to come, a lot more reviews to make. I got some Savage Dragon stuff coming soon. Issues 24 and 25 of that I'll be doing. So back to getting content and videos made of a bunch of really cool comics, which I enjoy doing. So until next time, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.